What's up guys, Belmont here. To celebrate this very special day, I've decided to bring you my top 5 Star Wars games. And hey, let me know in the comments your own favorites, because with over 140 games in its catalog, I'm interested to see what are your personal picks. So without any ado, let's hit it. Number 5. Just kidding. Dark Forces. Ah yes, this is where my love affair with Star Wars games began. You see, before that, I had only played a Nintendo Star Wars title, and I've gotta be honest, okay, the gameplay was garbage. And it took me quite a while to buy the Super Nintendo, so I ended up missing out on its 3 Star Wars games. Maybe I'll get to them one day, because from what I've seen, they look amazing, even up to this day. But moving on, I've always been a huge steel and technology type of guy, ever since I was a kid. Mix that up with the fact that I was a huge Doom fan, and it'd only be natural that I'd love Dark Forces. The atmosphere was amazing, the levels were huge, and you had all of the iconic sound effects, characters from the movies, and something else which caught my attention immediately: the weapons. You see, with the exception of the plasma cannon and the BFG 9000, all of the weapons in Doom existed in the real world. However, when I played Dark Forces and got all of the weapons totally honestly without using the LA Posto cheat, which I still remember up to this day, I was blown away. There was quite the variety to them, both in size and effect. I remember I even went as far as making styrofoam versions of the thermal detonator and the landmine. God, I loved this game so much. I still remember the original box, I had everything, it was amazing. Number 4. Jedi Power Battles. This game was the first Star Wars game that actually gave me what I truly wanted out of a Star Wars game: decent lightsaber combat. This was the first game that actually made me feel like a Jedi. I still remember how impactful the opening cutscene was to me. And the fact that you could play as many different Jedi only helped to lengthen the replay value of it. You could even unlock Darth Maul, Queen Amidala, and Captain Panaka. And the other characters were not simple reskins either. They each had their own unique fighting style and speed. Sure, nowadays it all seems very basic and even silly, but remember, this game was released 21 years ago, so cut it some slack, will ya? Number 3. Jedi Outcast. If Jedi Power Battles was the first game that made me feel like I was actually a Jedi, then Jedi Outcast was the first game where I actually felt the might and complexity and the colossal tactical advantage of the Force powers. You had Force push, pull, hold, jump, speed, and more. I'd spend night after night just looking for new ways to kill people with the Force, new ways to dispose of enemies, and improving my mastery with the lightsaber. The mastery part never happened, but you know, it was fun. And also, it had one of my favorite Jedi ever, Kyle Katarn. Now, I know there's probably like me and other 3 people in the world that like him, but hey, we are what we are. And there's also another cool thing if you played it on the PC like I did. You could enable lightsaber dismemberment via console commands. Not only was this fun as hell, okay, it was, but also it gave us the clear notion of what merely being grazed by a lightsaber could do to a living being. Number 2. Knights of the Old Republic. The first Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR for short, will always hold a very special place in my heart. Hell, I still have my physical copy of it, with manual and everything. You see, I've always been a huge fan of RPGs, and KOTOR was the complete package. You had huge worlds to explore, characters with great backstories, an extremely deep point distribution system, and different classes. Unlike in other RPGs, in KOTOR, making smart decisions about leveling up your characters and putting together your formation actually matters. Even if you max out all of your characters in KOTOR, they'd still be very different from one another. Just take a look at the manual. It even has a progression chart for every single class. And also, Darth Revan. Let's just leave it at that. Number 1. The Force Unleashed. You see, if a Jedi or a Sith enters a base, unless he or she is immediately met with an equal in combat, then a lot of people are gonna die very quickly. And not just because of their trademark weapon, the lightsaber or the Force powers, but because of their mastery and speed in using all of those elements together. At their core, Both the Sith and the Jedi share one common trait. They're all highly trained killers. And also, The Force Unleashed was the first Star Wars to ever allow us to truly feel that mix of speed, technique and force powers to its fullest. Even without purchasing a single upgrade, Starkiller was as lethal as one could get. And the force powers were so seamlessly integrated into the gameplay that you could effortlessly and swiftly alternate between close quarter combat and force powers. And speaking of force powers, The Force Unleashed really hit the nail in the head here. The auto-aiming is so well done that 99% of the time you'll be able to throw any object or foe exactly what you wanted in an instant. Special attention was paid to the interaction with the environment as well. The scenery was highly destructible and things like power cells, supply boxes, and even TIE fighters could be used as weapons. This added a colossal level of immersion to the game. And if this wasn't already enough, not only you get a very engaging storyline and a very convincing lead character, but also you get an assault of different skins to use throughout the game at your own leisure. And this instantly added to the replay value of the game. Even though the moves will still be the same, going through the game or stage as old Ben Kenobi felt very different from, for example, going through an area with young Anakin, Darth Maul, or even Luke in his Tatooine clothing. The boss battles were also very entertaining and engaging. They were very dynamic and never felt out of place with the game's central concept of high-speed action. I hope you guys had fun with this list and maybe even found it informative. Who knows, there's a couple of games here that maybe some of you have not played before. And also, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I will be making a special video about The Force Unleashed in the near future. This game is so good, it deserves it. And so, may the 4th be with you. See you next round.
Vader won't always be your master.